And
Hey.
good afternoon. Good afternoon, or is it almost evening over there? Since I have that set up for the sound check, I think I'll open up with that number. Drum roll, please. How do you like those sound effects? Turn my microphone on. Is it still sounding okay?
Yeah.
Good. No clipping. All right. Well, Deb, I am playing for you today the wonderful Lowrey Premier. Now, have you ever heard of a Lowrey Premier?
No.
Oh boy. Well, I'll have a lot to say on this fabulous instrument. But first, it was uh, it it was one of Lowry's. I'd have to say one of Lowry's best values, and I've been doing this since 1993. And Lowry's always done an exceptional job at introducing models from small to large and expensive, and in the mid-range instruments, I have to tell you, when I this instrument was introduced, it just took me by surprise because of all the features and sounds. And you're going to hear some of them, not all of them, um, but you'll hear some of my favorites. The first thing you'll notice, it's actually um, got an actual wood cabinet. Okay, so we have a beautiful walnut cabinet here, and it has this really gorgeous roll top. And some people like it so much they just leave it down all the time, and then they just put holes in it so they can play.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I'm just kidding. But I'll tell you, when I moved to Arizona, this has become a very, very important feature because it gets a little dusty out here in the desert sometimes. But even when you're not, dust tends to collect, but it's really nice to have. Just keeps the dust from getting onto the inside of the instrument. The other thing you're going to notice on here is, and I believe you have a Freedom 3 or,
Yeah. Freedom
okay.
3.
So the interesting thing about an instrument like this, I thought it was very clever how they designed it because of what is on the instrument, it sometimes appears to be a very large instrument, but it really isn't. Believe it or not, the width of the Premier from left to right is just about the same width as the Freedom 3. If you put
Yeah.
them in front of each other and measure it, it might be within an inch. The Freedom 3s are 44, 45, somewhere in that range, and that's what these are. Now, it's a little bit taller to account for this feature here, which was really nice. However, taller means might have some difficulty reading the music, but you probably see on the instrument here, there are two options for the hobby player to put their music. Option one is naturally on the top where most of the music goes. Option two is what a lot of the elite models have called the rack extender. So if I'm playing something as simple as When the Saints Go Marching In, I can put it here. right here, and it brings it lower and closer. And in fact, a lot of students have said that having it, and it puts it at eye level for most. Now, some people ask, well, can't they make this go closer? Well, if they made it too close, it'd be a chin rest, and that wouldn't be fun. But it's just enough to get close for the eyes and to still work with the panel. Now, the other thing you're going to hear me say from time to time is ease, easier, ease, ease, ease. When this instrument was introduced, the purpose was to take the best sounds and the features from the top of the lines at that time, which were near $70,000, and put it in a much smaller size, but still have a classy, gorgeous cabinet, and have all of the best features. Now, I'm going to say things like signature styles. And so I'll start off with one of my favorite signature styles. Well, I might say that a lot. I'm going to go to the big band button here, and I'm going to take you back in time, probably before your time. I don't know if you're familiar with the name I just saw Carrie pop up on the screen. Not Carrie. You know who Carrie is. Are you familiar with the name Glenn Miller? Your mom and dad may have told you who Glenn Miller is.
Yes.
She knows Glenn. Okay. Glenn Miller, he had a lot of great hits. And Glenn Miller had he had a certain sound that made him stand out from the rest. And what was very unique is a lot of those songs still to this day are very popular, as many orchestras and bands like to do their own arrangements of this. So we have Glenn Miller in here, we have you name it. And so the very first button here says big band, and I'm just going to put intro, and then I'm going to talk about a button here called rhythm preset in a moment. But essentially, rhythm preset is the equivalent to auto setup, okay, which you have on yours. So essentially what it does is when you select a style of music, it sets up the entire instrument automatically for you. You just play. You don't have to worry about pushing buttons, okay? So I'm going to play a couple of, I have so many songs I want to do, so I'm going to do a lot of songettes so you can hear as many as I can probably give you. But here's a songette of a great Glenn Miller classic. See if you can kind of hear what song I'm going to do in the introduction. This is called a signature style. Now, what's really cool is every one of these styles has 3 versions that you can play. So every category, should I say. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like there's 9. So there's 18 categories. Each one has 3 versions of that. So 18 times 3 is, Carrie, you'll have to do the math. I think it's like 50 something. If I did it right. 50 something? That's a lot. And I'm going to push the same big band button, and the variation of it now becomes another great Glenn Miller classic. Listen. Now, a lot of models have what's called a bluegrass train. This is called the swing train. I love that. Now, I mentioned rhythm preset. All right. Every model, every company that made organs over the years that had a feature like this, they kind of had their own wording for it. But all in all, the concept was the same. It was kind of universal as far as what it was supposed to do, which is when I select the style of music that I want to play, okay, whether it's a waltz style or ballad or rhythm and blues, fox, or whatever the case is, and I push rhythm preset, it sets up the entire instrument for me automatically. Now, have you had an opportunity to see here? Yes.
The microphone a little closer, so we, yeah.
Closer? How's that? Is that better? Okay. All right. So, if you had an opportunity to see or hear Carrie play in concert, okay. Have you ever noticed when he plays, he doesn't have the same sound all the time? He's got a lot of different sounds, and they all sound good. Well, I'm going to let you on his little secret. Maybe he shares this with his students. I'm not sure. I'm not there. But it's the concept of what we call presets, okay? And what this does, and if you could see from there are 10 buttons here, right smack dab in the middle of the instrument, okay? And each one of those has a different sound in them. However, when I have the rhythm preset button selected, which comes on automatically, and I choose the style of music that I want to play, what happens is these 10 buttons now give me 10 additional setups for that one style of music. So as an example, I'm going to go, let's put on this Charleston. This is a lot of fun. And as I'm playing the song, I'm just going to randomly press the numbers. I may go 1 through 10. I may bounce around. It doesn't matter. And as I press the numbers, notice the sounds change automatically, and they're perfect. I always tell a lot of students, it's like having a recipe book with a bunch of wonderful recipes. But unlike recipe books where you have to go out and buy the ingredients and then you have to cook it and what have you, this is kind of like a microwave, only more instant, and it's perfect. So you have all of these recipes at your fingertips, and you press a button, it automatically sets it up with a perfect sound for that style of music. So I have it on Charleston, and as I'm playing here, I'm just going to go 1 through 10. I'll call the number out when I'm doing it. So here we go. How about number 4? Now put your hands up and put a number in the air. Give me a number from 1 through 10. 2. All right, give me a number, Deb. 4. Another number, 5. One more. 7. You know what you just did, Deb? I'm glad you gave me those numbers because you just created an arrangement for me. You didn't know you were a professional arranger, did you? All you have to do is do numbers 1 through 10 over and over. I'll prove it to you. Now, what's cool about this is, and I'll try to remember some of the same numbers. What's cool about this is these presets change every time I pick a different style of music. So earlier you said there were, what did we come up, 54 or 5 or something styles of music? And there's 10 plus the 0, so that's 11 setups for every one of those. That means by using the same 10 buttons, I have nearly 600 different setups for the upper and lower that are foolproof. They all sound great. And so anytime I pick a different style, it'll change the sounds for me for that style. Now let's pick a totally different category of music. I did big band earlier. I did some Broadway. I did some Charleston. How about some Latin? Okay. So I'm going to go to one of my favorite new Latins here. This rumba here is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just going to use those same 10 presets here. Here, listen. Ooh. Ole! We'll just do a nice, simple classic, Spanish Eyes. Number 4, I think that was one you gave me earlier. Let's see what we get now. Ooh. Change, number 7. All right. So now I don't know if you noticed this, but from time to time I've been going down here and playing as well. A lot of times when you look at an instrument like this, or actually all of them, with the exception of our beginners models, you see 1, 2. So the immediate instinct is it has 2 keyboards. Well, actually this one has 3 keyboards. Okay. And you have one for your left hand, for your red, blue, and green, 1-finger chords, depending on how you play, or 3-finger if that's the way you play. You have one for your upper keyboard, like you're used to on your instrument. But Lowrey gave an option here that's automatic. I don't ever have to think about it. The only have to do is drop my hand and do it and just continue playing. And that is, it creates what's called a split. So are you a 1-finger chord player? Easy play? Yeah. Okay. So
she's playing her minors and 7s already.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 fingers for those? Yeah. Okay. Well, there's 1-finger players. There's 1 and 2 because we're learning minors and 7s. And then there's those that they grew up learning to play and they play 3-finger chords. Doesn't matter. The bottom keyboard will accommodate any player. However, most of us, when we play our left hand in this range. Okay? So what happens is this here, from this note here, Lowrey gave us an extra keyboard for an additional melody sound. The benefit of that is when we're playing, if we want a quick change in our sound, like Carrie does and a lot of the artists do, instead of reaching up and hitting a button or trying to change it, we could just drop down and continue playing and instantly. So for example, I'm going to put on, let's see here. This is fun. See if I remember how to play this. There's a style called Joplin Stride. Now think of the song The Entertainer. In fact, when you hear the introduction, your brain will think, oh, that sounds like The Entertainer. So I'm going to just play. I'll start on the top keyboard, and at some point I'll drop down here and continue playing, and I'll have a totally different sound instantly, making it very easy for me to change sounds. Listen. course. Now, what's cool about this is every one of those presets that I told you about automatically set up an upper sound and a lower sound every time. Another thing that automatically sets it up, and you're probably familiar with this, is a feature called Song Setup. Do you use the Song Setup on your instrument? Okay.
Yes.
So on here, there are 200 song setups. And I'm just going to simply use it like I would any other instrument. I touch Song Setup and I scroll. And then when I find a song that I want to play, let's say I want to play, this may not be the right time of the year, but sometimes a sometimes I like to play it anyway, so I don't have to wait till December or November to, I always love the sounds of the seasons and Christmas music and holiday music. And a lot of people wait till November to play it. And what happens is we get a whole bunch of Christmas songs played in a month and a half, and then we're tired of it and then we wait. I say enjoy it occasionally throughout the year. This style, what I did is I put Song Setup and I went to Jingle Bells. Okay? And what it did is it automatically selected a new style that a lot of the flagship models have called sleigh bells. And this is just an absolute fun thing to do. And automatically, there are sounds here and there are sounds here. Listen. Yay! Isn't that fun? And all of these song setups, they set up some of the most perfect styles of music. Let's see here. I passed one up as I was going through this, and I just absolutely love this style. Oops. I'll do one more here. It's one song setup that just absolutely, where is it? There it is. It's another Glenn Miller style of music. And this is one of those styles that works perfectly for the song that you're going to hear. But if you would like to play standards like I Left My Heart in San Francisco or Moonglow or songs of that nature, this works perfectly for anything. Now think of the song Moonlight Serenade. Are you familiar with the song Moonlight Serenade? Is that a thumbs up? You got to get it. Probably.
Gotta hear it.
Okay. Well, it was considered his what do they call that? His theme song. And it's just a gorgeous style, but when you hear the song, it's going to have the melody and then these just gorgeous brass sounds accompanying the song. Listen. All right. So that was a great classic, but here's how we could use this style for anything. Now I'm going to jump back to the November and December. Here we go. presets. Here we go. And the crowd roars, and the organ takes a bow, and the organ takes a bow. Woohoo! Now, I do a lot of teaching both in store and online, and sometimes I will have 60 people on, 70, 20, doesn't matter. And over time, one of the things that I will frequently tell people is that I love presets. The more presets, because they're like recipes, but they're instantly cooked for you, if you will. The more recipes a person has, or the more presets, the better the odds of getting all these great sounds. So far we calculated, I forgot what it was, nearly 600 great sounds for the upper and the lower. But Lowrey takes it further, and a lot of the flagship models have this, and the Lowrey Premier has it as well. And there's two alternate types of presets. The one you heard earlier was called rhythm preset. It presets the instrument for sounds for a rhythm. So that explains that. Then there is what's called bank presets and category presets. Now, bank presets is fabulous because there are some presets that are there, but bank presets are designed for that student. And this happens. We encourage our students to experiment. Try to find a sound you like. And sometimes we find a sound we're not too pleased with, and we just keep pushing buttons. And then, I don't know if this happens to you, but every now and then, I push enough buttons, I find something, I go, ooh, I like that. So what does a typical student do? Well, it depends. If they don't have what I'm about to show you, they'll take a piece of paper out and write it all down so they can get that exact same setup. Doesn't always come out exact. Or if they have the option, they can take the preset the sound they have, and they can instantly save it into the bank preset onto up to 10 buttons. Now, this is where it gets clever. Because this has a disk drive, we can save those 10 presets as many times as we like, as infinitely as we want, as much as we need. So you could literally save hundreds and hundreds of customized. And the idea there is that you find a sound you like, you don't want to lose it, you hit memorize A and a number, and it stores it in the instrument. Okay, isn't that great? Or sometimes we don't want to do that. We like to make Carrie work, right, Carrie? And so a lot of students will go to Carrie and they'll say, Carrie, I have this song in here in my book, and I love this song. This is one of my favorites. What would you use if I did it? So, if I took a song out of, I'll take a song out of our Conductor Magic book. Love Me Tender. Oh, I love this song. And they go up to one of the staff members and they say, what would you use for it? So I'm just going to push a few buttons, and I'm going to, I love my 50s love ballad here. And let's see, push some buttons here. Push that. I love it with piano and strings, and I'll just see what it sounds like. And I go, oh, you know what? I really like that. And so now the student, they hear that, and they go, yes, I love that sound. So what Carrie would do is he'll save it, and he'll push memorize A and a number, and I'll just do number 1 for the purpose of this, and then confirm it. Now, let me push A1, and it's there. So if I turn the organ off, uh-oh, I might be in big trouble here, Carrie. I turned the organ off. But if I push A1, it should still be there, and voila, it is there. Listen. Ooh, I love that. This is the 50s love ballad. A little bit different than some of the other models. Or I can play. Sound and lower. So now here's the problem though. If Kerry had an instrument like it at the store and he programs it at the organ at the store and you have one just like it in your home, how does it get from one place to the other? It's not telepathy. Kerry hasn't conquered that yet. However, there is a thing called a floppy disk. Which I have my floppy disk person here. He's going to bring me one to show you, and I'll show you what to do with that a little bit later. But basically, you put your disk in here, and then there's an option to save it. And then you take it, go home and put it in your instrument, load it up, you get the exact same setting that Kerry, and I know that Kerry does that a lot for the students, whether it's a floppy disk or USB, all the same concept, saving it, getting it work done for you. So that's the power of bank presets. There's stuff there already, or you could have someone like Kerry set up the instrument for your favorite songs. So I'm going to use this here in a little bit. Now, category presets, what Lowrey did is they put two categories. And this is a little bit different than rhythm presets. Rhythm presets, like I said earlier, change every time I pick a different style of music, which is great. But what Lowrey did is they put two categories here that have a variety of enough different instrument sounds at our fingertips that will work with any of these styles. And so what they did is they gave us a big band category and a Latin category. If you think about big band music and you think about Latin, between the two, 20 setups on the top and the bottom, that's over 40 different sounds. More than likely, there's a sound that you're going to love. And what's great about it is you don't have to play the style of music that the category is called. So for example, I'm going to put on the big band category, and I'm just going to play a couple sounds for you without the rhythms, okay? So for example, we have, you may have heard of, this one again is a little bit before your time, but Tommy Dorsey on the trombone. Benny Goodman on the clarinet. We have the Guy Lombardo Orchestra sound. Andrews Sisters or the Cordettes are in here. Some girls singing to me. Now, I'm playing it manually, but if I want to take a style of music that's not big band, I can do that. So for example, I'm going to pick a style here. Ooh, let's try this one. This one's fun. This is called Smoky Lounge. Okay, so Kerry, you're going to have to bring out your pipe and put some smoke in the room. So give it to the effect. No, we don't want to do that. Hazard, fire hazard. Smoky Lounge. I'll start off with how it sets it up for me, and then I'm going to use the big band category with that. Listen. Ooh, I forgot we had the muted trumpet here. Whew, that was a hard note to hit. Oh, that's so much fun. You know, I'm looking at the dashboard here. Can't tell it to show everything that it does, but I'll very quickly tell you some of the things that I'm seeing that's really beneficial for a student. First of all, at the touch of my fingertips, I have a feature here called octave. So I can very easily take a sound like a piano and shift the octave if I want it instead of having to move my hands. Transposing at our fingertips, we can transpose the instrument right here. The presets also have hidden features where they pull in certain sounds. Well, you have a button, I think it's called, is it called Sounds on the Freedom 3 where you access the instruments? What is that called on the Freedom 3?
More?
More, is it? So it's called More. Basically, it gives you about another 20 or so sounds, saxophones. On here, there are an additional 100 plus sounds in there from saxophones, xylophones to, and what's cool about this is the presets automatically set it up for you so you never have to guess which button to push. Now I'm going to have some fun here and play some of my favorite styles that I love. What kind of music do you like to play when you play the instrument? She's laughing really hard. What'd she say? You like love songs, Latin songs, Broadways?
Oh, she just got that 6-book pack, so she's doing a lot of different things.
Oh, so variety.
Variety.
You're considered a student that we love because you have an open mind to all sorts of stuff. Okay. Well, with that said,
Aw,
I'm going to have a little fun here.
doing great.
What's that?
She's doing great.
Good. All right. So here's a couple of I'm going through. I wish I had at least another 2-3 hours because there's so many great styles on here that. Okay, I'll just have to just play. I love country music too. I haven't done any country yet.
You really should let her hear how the soft and easy sounds.
The soft and easies?
So,
Okay, I'll save that. I'll come back to that. Carrie knows best. This is a country waltz. But this is different. This is a signature country waltz from all of the elite models, and I call this tears in my ears, line on my back kind of country, because like if you're laying on your back and it's sad, and you're crying, the tears are going in the ear. You're not laughing. Okay, I'll just stick to playing. Now, speaking of soft and easies, I'm glad you mentioned those because when I did push those, I realized that there are two gorgeous soft and easy styles on here that I absolutely love. This one is just simply called guitars. Oh, you know what? This will be perfect with it. Oh, that's gorgeous. I haven't played that one in a long time. And if I do the other one, it's just equally gorgeous in a whole totally different way. That was good thinking, Carrie. I love playing those. Those are fun. And of course, this one is for Carrie, but I'm going to have a little fun here. All right, here we go. Now, I'll tell you what's really cool about that, what I just did. I did two things. One, I'll share my final song, and one, I'll tell you about what I did now. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, especially working with Carrie's students, it's like they say it more with you, Carrie, than any other staff member that I've heard. They always say these famous last words when we're trying to earn their business to upgrade. They'll say, well, I'll get it if Carrie comes with it. And, I want to say, okay, but if I did that on every sale, he would never be at the store. He'd be busy at living at everybody's houses all the time. And that's kind of hard. And this kid eats a lot, boy, I tell you. So that's not really a good plan. However, I found out how you can take your favorite PA home with you anytime you want. You don't have to feed them, and he can still get his job done at the store servicing all of these wonderful customers like you, right, Carrie? Well, it's simple. That floppy disk that I was showing you not only allows you to put setups and presets or have them customized for you, but what Carrie can do, and I think he's got a little collection of songs recorded already, is he can record your favorite songs on the floppy disk, and then you can just have them play it back whenever you want. So I recorded the song that I just played. Now that's not me, so I'll stop it. But if it was Carrie, I'd play it all the way through. So it's a great tool because what happens is a lot of the entry models that we have built-in songs in them. I think there's 30 in the Freedom 3, and there's 40 or so in the Easy 4 and 10. They all have, but now this becomes infinite. You can put 20, 30 in one, and then do another one and do 20 or 30, and then 20 or 30. You can have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds over time. So yes, now you can take Carrie home with you whenever you'd like, and you don't have to feed him, and you can have him play for you anytime you want. Isn't that great? Now, there was a little button. It's kind of one of these little features that really makes a little difference, sometimes a lot of difference, and it's very easy to use. And as I was playing, I found myself pushing it from time to time, and I keep forgetting, I should at least share this. It's a simple little thing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll finish up with a little 50s rock and roll boogie woogie kind of a feel, all right? And I'm just going to play a nice, good old 50s rock and roll tune for you. And the one that they've done on the Elite model, the Lowrey Elite models, and this one is really clever because up here there's a little button they simply labeled Auto Bass. And it says Auto Bass 1 and 2. Now, every model that we carry that has Easy Play, which is basically everything we carry, has what's called a built-in auto bass. So when you put on big band, Latin, country, whatever the case is, and you have your Easy Play on, the bass player is automatically doing its own thing. Sometimes it's a swing bass, sometimes it's boom, 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 sometimes it's a walking bass, dum, 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 okay, something like that. On here, it does the same thing. The difference is when I push Auto Bass 2, that bass player starts to do other things. And what's clever about this is it allows a student to play, keep the same sounds they have, and alter the arrangement enough to make their song interesting or different without having to change a lot. On this style, it's pretty clever when you hear it. It really kind of has a fun, I think it's like a piano boogie woogie. Listen to it. So I'll start off with the way it is, and then I'll point it out to you. Here we go. So this is the initial. Okay. So listen to the band there. Now I'm going to turn off some of the band members so you can hear. And now I have just the drummer and the bass player. In this case, the guy is going boom, boom, boom. Hear it? And watch what happens when I put on auto bass 2. I've been trying for years to do this technique, but it's very hard to do if you're not a piano player. Here we go. Woo! The Lowrey Premier, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Hey! Thank you so much. Now, with that said,